And we're back with another video. What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy Avery Wright, bringing you your Carolina Panthers Week 6 post-game review. Now, the Chicago Bears came into Bank of America on Sunday, October 18, 2020, 1 p.m. to take on our Carolina Panthers. Sadly, the Panthers did not win this game. They lost to the Bears 23-16. And there's a lot to get into here. I mean, it's a lot, but still, they're 500 at the end of the day. But let me just go ahead and get into it. Now, let me say, it was very sloppy play on both sides of the football for Carolina. I mean, my goodness, it was just bad on both sides. But I will say the defense did a better job in the second half, but the offense was having a really rough day. Also, shout out to the Bears defense, man. Like I said, I think that's the best defense in football, especially right now. They are a legitimate football team on defense. I'll get into their offense in a moment, but I'm going to shout out their defense. Whoever their defensive coordinator is, I don't know who it is, but that is a well-coached defense. I mean, they know how to tackle. Like, they don't have missed tackles. They wrap up really well. And they seem to get, especially against us today, they seem to get like a lot of tip passes. Like the DBs always get their hands in there to disrupt the pass. And they switch off of each other. Like they play really good zone. It's like I'm watching basketball out there. Now, let's talk about this Carolina team on defense. It was a kind of off and on day for the defense. That first half wasn't too good for the Carolina defense, but the second half, they played a lot better than they did in the first half. They had about 9 QB hits and 8 pass deflections. They did not get a sack at all today, but they got 1 interception, and it was the rookie Jeremy Chin. And boy, has he been playing really well in his rookie season, man. He's one of the future stars of this team on this Carolina Panthers team. Hopefully we can keep him, and hopefully he can keep performing at the level he's playing as. But, you know, a lot of people wanted us to get Isaiah Simmons, but, hey, Jeremy Chin is just proving the Panther fans wrong, man. Trey Boston also led the way with tackles. He had 8 solo tackles. And now about this defense, there was just a lot of open space. I mean, it looked like they were just playing a lot of soft zone out there, and they weren't really rushing a whole lot. They were rushing 3, sometimes 4, but they just sagged off, and they were just giving the Bears freebies. I mean, it was like 3rd and 5, and they were giving them the whole 5 yards. They give them, all the Bears were really doing is running comeback routes, curl routes, and little slants, getting to that first down marker. And Nick Foles is just throwing bullets in there, and they get the first down. And it's ridiculous. Not to mention there were a lot of missed tackles. It was a lot of missed tackles. And like I said, the zone was pretty soft, and they were just rushing a lot of 3 players most of the time, sadly. But, you know, Nick Foles, he went 23 of 39, 198 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Nick Foles played okay. I mean, but the Panthers made him look so much better than how he played. I mean, the defense, like I said, they played better in the second half. What was really killing the Panthers on defense today was just the dinking and dunking. That's literally all Chicago was doing. They were dinking and dunking. Like I said, when we were playing that soft zone, they were dinking and dunking, getting first downs, picking up chunk plays on 3rd and 7 or 2nd and 7. They get the first down. And on top of that, we were missing so many tackles. So many tackles. And mind you, the Bears have one of the worst rushing offenses in the league. But they made David Montgomery, who had 19 carries, 58 yards. Felt like more. I almost felt like he got over 100 yards. They made him look great out there. I mean, like I said, it felt like he got more than 58 yards. Kudos to the defense, but they were just missing tackles so much. And let me just say that with the dinking and dunking, our linebacker core was getting exposed out there. Especially, oh my goodness. Especially Tahir Whitehead. Why is he on the team? Like I've said it many times, he's not good in the passing game, but even in the run game, he just looks terrible. And The passing game, he's just out there getting juked out of his shoes, and it's just like, Marty Hurney, why would you pick him up? Of all people to try and replace Luke Kuechly with, the best you could do, you're telling me the best you could do was with Tahir Whitehead. Tahir Whitehead. Like, come on, man. To be honest, give that man Jermaine. I don't know what his first name is. Jay Carter. I know his last name is Carter. Let that man get some more playing time, because he's been playing a lot better than Tahir Whitehead. And as a matter of fact, move that man Shaq Thompson over to middle linebacker, bro. I mean, Shaq Thompson, he has been doing well tackling, but again, he's still, like I said, the linebacker crew was getting exposed today. He was getting juked out of his shoes too. But I would feel more comfortable with Shaq Thompson back there at middle linebacker than Tahir Whitehead. I don't know, man. Someone, when they get to the bye week, our bye week isn't until week 13. They need to look at the tape and say, look, man, Shaq needs to go over to MLB. We're not talking about baseball. Now, I will say this. The DBs did a good job of keeping the wide receivers in check. Mind you, the Bears don't really have a quote-unquote good wide receiving core, but their best wide receiver, Allen Robinson, has been going crazy these past couple weeks, but Allen Robinson only had 5 receptions for 53 yards, and they just kept him in check, except for the one play where it was like third and 4, and then Allen Robinson was like wide open down the middle and caught like a 20-yarder. It was ridiculous. But that was the only really huge chunk play that they got. Nick Foles could not throw the ball down the field against this defense. So kudos to the DBs, to Dante Jackson. Dante Jackson had a great game today. Rasul Douglas was pretty good as well. Justin Burris got injured. I hope he's gonna be okay, but they carted him off. That's not really a good sign, but hopefully he comes back and he'll be able to practice this week. Jeremy Chin, again, he's been playing outstanding, but really, really nice job by Rasul Douglas and Dante Jackson today, man. They did a really good job. Like I said, the linebacker, Tahir Whitehead, it was just ridiculous. And like I said, missed tackles. They just kept missing tackles, especially on David Montgomery. And every time when Allen Robinson was out there, I mean, you know, Allen Robinson can juke you out of your shoes, but still, it was kind of rough in that first half of the defense. And like I said, Nick Foles could not throw down the field against this team. So props to Phil Snow, man. I know I was ragging on him earlier this year, but I still give him some credit. And like I said, the defense still put us in a good position to win the game. So yes, it's still an all-around effort that everyone didn't play their best, but the defense, they're improving before our eyes. But now let's go on to the other side of the ball. Oh boy, the offense. Now before I get into the offense, granted, this is the best defensive team in football in the Bears, I believe. You can't tell me they're not a top 3 defense in this league that Carolina is going up against. So you knew they were going to struggle, but I knew it was going to be a long day from the get-go. Where Teddy Bridgewater was trying to find, I think it was, Robbie Anderson, and I think Eddie Jackson got his hand in there, and it was picked off by Gibson, and they had it 1st and goal and already scored. Against that Chicago defense, you can't give them short field position. Like, you can't be backed up like in your own 5. You can't. Like, that defense is too good. And the thing about the Bears defense, they don't even need to blitz. They have a solid front 4 that they don't even have to blitz. It's ridiculous. Like I said, that's a really well-coached defense. Now, I've been praising the offensive line for the past 2 weeks, but like I said, even though you're going up against one of the best defenses, this still isn't an excuse. You go 2 games without allowing a sack, and then today you just let Teddy get sacked 4 times, and he was hit 6 times. Teddy Bridgewater was under duress all throughout the game. Now, everybody knows if a quarterback is playing under duress all game, he can't deliver good strikes and good balls to his receivers. You got to be able to have a clean pocket in there. You know, but again, that Bears front 4 it's pretty mighty, man. It's mighty, but still, that's no excuse. You guys are professionals. And Russell Okung, this man, he had so many false start penalties. I'm like, bro, you are a veteran. You cannot have these false start penalties. I can understand if you're a rookie, but come on, man. That's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Now, Teddy Bridgewater, he went 16 for 29, 216 yards, and 2 interceptions. And DJ Moore was off and on. I mean, he made some good plays, and Teddy threw him some stripes, and sometimes they just weren't there. I mean, DJ, he had ample opportunities to catch. He had a few drop passes. But I will also say Teddy Bridgewater was throwing the ball behind him a little bit. Now, again, it was because Teddy was under duress, and you can't expect your quarterback to make really good throws when he's under duress. But regardless, you're a professional, and you got to make those. And I know y'all in the comments might be saying, oh, I'm getting on Teddy Bridgewater. But, hey, it is what it is. Knowing good and darn well, if Cam was doing the same thing, y'all would be grilling him too. So Teddy is no exception. I like Teddy Bridgewater. The brother can play. But like I said, everyone's going to get criticism on this team, man. I said I like DJ, but again, he had some easy targets by Teddy that he should have caught, man. But he still led the receivers in receptions. 5 receptions, 93 yards. And then behind him was Robbie Anderson, 4 receptions, 77 yards. And I will say this. The Bears defense did kind of hold Robbie Anderson in a little bit. Now, except for that really huge dive play that Robbie Anderson had, I feel like we should have went to him more. But they knew that Robbie Anderson was our only speedster because Curtis Samuel was out. And we really missed Curtis. Like, this game here against Chicago, we really, by the way, Robbie Anderson had 4 receptions, 77 yards. But we really missed Curtis Samuel and Christian McCaffrey this game. I didn't even get into Mike Davis. I mean, they kind of bottled him up. He had 18 carries, 52 yards, still got a touchdown, but it looked like Mike Davis didn't get like his nice big runs. He was starting to get a few chunks, but he wasn't getting a lot. Again, credit to that Bears defense, but these are one of the games where we truly missed Curtis Samuel and McCaffrey because Curtis Samuel is the other speedster, and he can blow the top off of a defense just like Robbie Anderson. And we also line him up at running back as well. He has the speed. Whereas Mike Davis still has speed, but he's more so a power back. And so without that added threat of Curtis Samuel, it just kind of becomes almost one-dimensional. It's like, oh, all you have to worry about is Robbie Anderson. No one else can outrun us. DJ Moore could probably do it, and he had a favorable matchup too. But again, DJ, sometimes he was on the money, other times he wasn't. It just happens, but you got to be able to catch the ball. And like I said, we miss McCaffrey because McCaffrey could be out there and give this defense problems too. Like, if we have McCaffrey, Curtis Samuel, Robbie Anderson, and DJ Moore out there, the defense wouldn't have known what to do. They still would have been they're still a good defense, but without having all of that to handle, and instead of just Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, especially at no threat at tight end. Now, they need to really adjust that. I don't know what is going on with the tight ends, but Ian Thomas should have gotten more involved today, or Chris Manhertz. I mean, Chris Manhertz had like one catch for like 2 yards, but that's about it. I don't know what's going on with the tight ends, but we do not utilize the tight ends at all in the passing game. We just use them for blocking, and Ian Thomas can catch. Now Manhertz, yeah, he's more of a blocking tight end, but Ian Thomas, I want to see Ian Thomas get some more touches, man. He can ball. And lastly, we could not score in the red zone. It was just like I was watching that Tampa Bay game all over again. They just couldn't score in the red zone. Just kept getting field goals. But again, the Bears are the best team on third down and in the red zone. But still, if you want to be able to make a name for yourself in this league, then you got to be able to beat teams like Chicago. Now, I will say this. Chicago, like I said earlier, defensively, they are a great football team. Offensively, on the other hand, they are terrible. I'm sorry. I'm just calling it how I see it. Chicago is not a good team on offense. And if you're a Bears fan watching this, come on, you know it's true too. There's no chemistry with the wide receiver core, especially since Nick Foles is just now really getting the starting spot. This is his 3rd game starting. They still need more chemistry. And what receivers do they really have? His old reliable over there is Allen Robinson. And then you don't have Tariq Cohen, who's on IR for the year. The offense just doesn't look in sync at all. But that's why this Bears team, is so heavily anchored on their defense. They rely heavily on their defense to get them in great field position so they don't have to just launch the ball down the field, because Nick Foles wasn't doing that today. He was dinking and dunking. He's still getting chunk plays against the soft zone we were playing, but hey, he was still getting it. And that's all you really need. You don't really need to throw it. And you saw in the second half, they wanted to blow the top off of us. Nick Foles couldn't throw it down the field at all. It was bad. Now, the Bears, like I said, they still won. Congratulations to them, but I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like I said, this Bears team will probably go as far as their defense takes them. But they're going to end up going up against a team that will be really high-powered offensively, especially if they play someone like the Chiefs or... Oh, I don't think they played... No, they did beat Tampa Bay. But they play someone like the Chiefs, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. Now, back to Carolina. Again, in the words of our old... illustrious old coach, Ron Rivera, there were a lot of missed opportunities today. Now, I can say that because there were. I mean, you had things like Trey Boston should have had a pick where Nick Foles tried to go over the top, and I think he was trying to throw to Allen Robinson, and he threw it in double coverage, and both Dante Jackson and Trey Boston had a chance to make the play, but they couldn't. And then Joey Sly missing a 54-yarder field goal. Could have easily had more points. And then DJ Moore dropped that touchdown in the end zone. Like, if you have some of those back, what was that, 23-16, you get that 3 points, 19, plus a touchdown, we would be winning. It would have been 26-23. I really do think that Carolina probably would have won that game. If DJ Moore had the touchdown and Joey Sly made that field goal, Carolina would have won. Because even in crunch time, I'm still not going to rely. Yes, Nick Foles has a Super Bowl. But still, I'm not going to rely on Nick Foles to throw it down the field when he hasn't been doing it all game. Come on, man. If the Panthers limit those and the stupid penalties like they had, like Russell Okung and his false starts and the phantom pass interference and the phantom, the roughing the passer. Like, come on, man. Really? And then the other thing that really made me a little upset about this game was Jonathan Vilma. They had him up in the booth. I don't know. Every time when the Panthers play on Fox, they always have someone who's the color commentator. That's always someone who used to play against the Panthers a lot, i.e. Jonathan Vilma, when he used to be with Tampa Bay. And he was just so biased towards the Bears. And he just... It was ridiculous. I know I'm not the only one that noticed that, right? Let me know in the comments. Overall, to sum it up, a few positive takeaways from this game is this team never gave up. Let's be honest. If this was a Ron Rivera team, the Bears would have kept just pouring on the points. They would have, but this team never gave up. Especially, like I said, the defense, the second half, they played really well to give us an opportunity to win the game. And then Teddy Bridgewater comes out and throws an interception. Let's be honest, it was on him. Now, I will say, the first interception was not on Teddy. That was just a great defensive play by the Bears defense. But that second one, I know he was under duress, but come on, bro. That was nowhere near close to DJ Moore. Nowhere close, and he threw an interception. Teddy's a good quarterback, but he's not great, but he's not terrible, you know. And I know everyone's been silent on Twitter. Well, so the Teddy Bridgewater fans have been quiet today on Twitter. Like I said, I still support Teddy. Hopefully he'll bounce back next week. But he said this is the type of game that'll humble you. Yeah, that's what we needed, and I think the Panthers fan base needed to be humbled too. I've been seeing so many things in the comments under our highlights that, oh, the Carolina Panthers are a playoff team. It's like I said last week, we really haven't played anyone yet. Let me rephrase that. We haven't beaten a good team yet. We've only beaten, all of our wins have come against teams that are under 500. The only 500 team that we've beaten are the Arizona Cardinals, who are basically a middle of the pack team. All the teams that we lost to this year are over 500. The Raiders, who are 3-2, Tampa Bay, who's 3-2, and then we just lost today to the Bears, who are now 5-1. So we'll really see. I said these next 2 weeks we'll really see what Carolina's made of. Because like I said, we had the Bears today, and then next week we go on the road to the Big Easy to take on the division rival New Orleans Saints. And I know I haven't put up a preview for the past couple of weeks, but this week there will be a preview for this NFC South rivalry matchup. So we'll see what happens. But the last few positives I'm gonna get into is the fact that, hey man, Brian Burns is the best player on that defense. I'm gonna just flat out say it. That boy can play. Spider Burns, I don't think I've seen someone that quick off of the defensive line like that. I mean, he was so close. Like, Brian Burns was so close to having like 4 or 5 sacks today, man. I like his quickness, his speed, his power moves, and his moves are it's just amazing to see, man. And I love Brian Burns so much. But we really missed his patent, his signature Brian Burns strip sack. If we can just get one of those Brian Burns strip sacks a week, Carolina will be in good shape. But hey, man, shout out to Brian Burns and shout out to Jeremy Chin. Those two have been playing really well on defense. I think those are our 2 best defensive players right there. And then lastly, it's good to see Teddy running the ball. I will say that because, it's been hard for him with his injuries, but today Teddy was actually out there scrambling. And I'm here for it. He was getting positive yardage. He had 8 carries for 48 yards. I want to see more of that. Heck, running Teddy on a read option. He doesn't have burners, but Teddy can still run. I don't know if he's going to juke anyone out, but, it will be in slow motion like what he did 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago against those boys in 3 weeks ago now, them boys in Arizona. But, like I said, like Teddy said, it's very humbling. I hope a lot of Panther fans have come back down to earth. Like I said, we'll really see what this team is made of, because it's only going to get harder from here. Like I said, we have New Orleans next week, and then after that, we have Atlanta, because, man, if Atlanta wins, I don't know who they play next week, but if they get a win, and then they come to play us on Thursday Night Football, they're going to be looking for revenge. So, 2 division games back-to-back. Division games are never easy. You can't count the Falcons. They're a 0-5 or 1-5 teams. Like, it's a division game. You never know what happens. You see what happened in the Tennessee and Texans game, right? Everyone probably thought that Tennessee was gonna blow the gate down on the Texans. No, the Texans put up a fight. They still lost in overtime, but division games are always hard. Those are the teams that you play twice a year. They know you. Sometimes they know you better than you know yourself. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Preview coming later this week. Thank you all for watching. Or listening as well. I don't know what you guys are doing. You could just be listening. But anyway, thanks for it. And preview coming soon, sometime later this week. Thank you all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think down in the comments. Keep pounding. Go Panthers. Y'all stay blessed. Have a great week.